Hello Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for joining me, and if you're returning, thank you so much for doing so. This message could resonate for you if you have Virgo as a Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement. Okay, but if it doesn't, please do not feel the need to force it. You know, we don't got to do any of that over here. Just take what resonates and leave what does not behind. Also, if you are not a Virgo, if you do not have Virgo placements, then this message is not for you. There's no flip-flopping or switching up the messages as you see fit. That is not how tarot readings work. Okay? So essentially, what we are doing here today, Virgo, is that we are looking at what's going on for you in the month of July. Now, July is, can you even believe it? Like the 7th month of the year. I don't think you can believe it, Virgo. You know, we're past the halfway point, and so we're really sitting here and reflecting on everything that has occurred in this short amount of time, in this short but long amount of time, you know, especially since going into the quarantine and whatnot. Because that's been like a whole third of the year at this point, and it's really just a deep moment of reflection in this month of July. And it's particularly a reflection on how do we feel. Oh yes, with Cancer season, baby, it's so perfectly timed for a halfway mark of the year sort of energy. Like, how do we feel? How do I feel? What are my feelings right now? That's really where everybody's at, Virgo, you included. So it's sort of you in this space right now where you're just assessing, where have I been going? Where am I at? And where am I headed? What lies before me? What am I going towards? And what is coming towards me? Okay, so we're gonna figure all that out right here, right now, because we're getting to your spread, and we're gonna start with the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle, and then we're gonna move into the Soul's Journey Lesson cards, and then we're gonna move into the Light Seers Tarot deck. Okay, so starting with the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle, let me get one card for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Oh, right there, straight off the bat. We got Hawthorn, Sacred. Okay. Sacred, that's very interesting. Why Sacred? Let's get another card. One more. Okay. So, Sacred, and we have Resourcefulness, and we have Invigorate. Okay. I'm really feeling that. Juniper for Invigorate, which, yes, accurate, and Huckleberry for Resourcefulness. So the way that I see these three cards together is you are sort of coming into this space where you are looking at what is important to you, looking at what is sort of the things that you hold most dear, your deepest values and your deepest principles. What is sacred to you, and what is like what you hold up? What is what you desire? What do you sort of define to be your values, or what is most important? And I think that this is coming through a sort of impassioned feeling that is beginning to arise within yourself here. With Invigorate, something is being invigorated within you. Something is sparking up a joy. And then with Resourcefulness, I think that it's like towards what's important to you. You're getting sort of a lot of energy towards this time, a lot of motivation, and you're figuring out the ways in which you can sort of move towards that, sort of exist in that, sort of take advantage of what is around you, of what you find to be sacred. And at the bottom of the deck, we have tenacity. So again, that's this burdock. Again, tenacity is working hard for what you want, despite the challenges, despite what may be coming towards you. What is the most deepest, most important, most valuable things to you that you need to remain focused on? That's really what's coming up now. I feel like you're really just going to be getting some motivation during this time, Virgo, to really see what lies within you that you hold as paramount to everything else, and then figuring out the ways that you can work towards that, figuring out the ways that you can use what you have now, or use what you can get to sort of make that change. And I started that thought at 555. So yes, make that change. What can you do to sort of get towards where you want to go, or get towards this thing that you hold in such high regard right now, or that you see as your truth, or see as your path, or see as what you're being divinely guided towards, or that you desire? Okay, so let's get into the soul's journey cards. Wow, adversity has been popping, or has been like trying to low-key flip out in all of my readings. So annoying, because come out then if it's that real. But it didn't actually come out. So one card for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Patience flew out and then fell to the floor. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So there could be something that you want here. Let's get another card. What are you being patient about, Virgo? What's requiring your patience right now? Oh my God, everything is going to the floor today. Forgiveness, whoa. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Okay. So forgiveness, patience, and at the bottom of the deck, honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Okay. Okay. So, Virgo, you may be in a situation, or you may be coming into a place of reflection on your feelings with being sort of having what you love and what you desire. Because there are things that you hold sacred. There are things that you hold sacred. There are things that you see as important. There are things that you see as sort of so important to you. Values that you don't really bend or shake on. Feelings about yourself and how you interact with others that you don't really bend with. And perhaps you have come into a space where you're learning that is not necessarily the same energy that everyone else carries their self with. That you may not necessarily be on the same level as other people when it comes to their when it comes to how they move, when it comes to their energy and how they put that out into the world and how they interact with and treat people and situations. You may see that you're not on the same level as them. And when I say that, I don't mean that as on you're at a lower level than them. Let's not get that twisted by any means. I think it's sort of a frustration that you have with other people when they don't meet your expectations that is on the purview right now. Because you have so much to offer within yourself, when what you offer is not matched, or when you are not offered is not matched or succeeded, it is not really pleasing to you, and you'll hold on to it. You'll resent that because I guess how dare anyone come to you with this sort of half-assed energy when you don't half-ass anything. But I see that, you know, you have this great sort of value in yourself, but the detriment is that the amount of regard that you hold within yourself, you also hold within other people. And that would be fine on its own if when other people didn't meet your expectations, you sort of had this feeling or this shift where you sort of adopt the same resentment that you feel towards them onto yourself. So what I mean by this is when people don't meet your expectations, or when people frustrate you, when they piss you off, you sort of respond to them negatively, and then also respond to yourself negatively, sort of start to get on yourself, berate yourself, or bring yourself down for their mistakes or their follies. Or for their lack of honesty, or for their lack of truth. And it's from a place of resentment that you sort of exist in that state, that you sort of hold that energy within yourself. And I think that the patience just needs to come from, you need to have patience with other people, because you also need to have patience with yourself. This patience and this forgiveness and this honesty, it's showing me that the way that you feel about other people, this frustration that you have with them, is a reflection only of the frustrations that you have within yourself, and that the lack of patience that you may feel towards others is just representative of a lack of patience that you feel towards yourself. Okay, so let's get into your tarot spread now, because that was a big message. But let's get into the tarot spread to sort of work out the kinks of this message. So, Spirit, give it to me for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. Messages for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And thank you, Spirit, for these messages. It is a hot ass day, y'all. It is hot as hell outside. I have the window full on open and I'm sweating. Okay. So okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands inverted. So the Four of Wands inverted, that's representative of, you know, a lack of stability or a lack of faith and positivity, but more so a lack of stability, more so a lack of feeling stable and sort of connected as well. Connected and secure in that feeling of being connected to other people, to your destiny, and maybe even to what you hold sacred. So this could be just, you know, a lack of fulfillment in general, like a disappointed, disgruntled, disharmonious energy. So what's at the root of this situation with, what did you get? With patience. The Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is sort of this energy that wants to, you know, like I said, Virgo, you march to the beat of your own drum, in the sense that you have your values, you have your way of being that you were very grounded in, that you were very sure of. There's nothing more that you want than to be able to live that truth as loudly and as proudly as you can, and without really having to apologize for that. But with patience at your root with the Knight of Wands, I see this as you needing to sort of, maybe you feel impatient. Maybe you want to go out and sort of live in this lively energy, but you feel blocked by something. You sort of, I see this Knight of Wands, especially with this Four of Wands. I see that you aren't really coming from a stable or secure place with this energy, that it's sort of this feeling that you're having as a need to sort of boost yourself up, to invigorate yourself. So you're sort of looking into your environment in any way that you can to invigorate that sense of wholeness within yourself, like we have with the Sacred card, like to invigorate that deep desire within, or not that deep desire, those deep things within yourself that you hold so true, those deep ways of being, those beliefs, the things that you regard about yourself, wanting to really jump and dive into that, but that's coming from a place of insecurity, that's coming from a place of instability. And I see that it's also coming from just a place of impatience, especially the Knight of Wands. He is an impatient and a fickle energy, and it's very in and out. So it's not something that is lasting. There was a word that I was going to use to describe it, but I'm not going to use that. Just moving on into what is feeding this situation is the Eight of Wands. So like I said, fast movement, hastiness. Things are on go for you in the month of July, Virgo. Just a lot of movement, a lot of lighting different sparks. But the way I see this is it's scattered. You're lighting many torches, and it's like, because you've lit them all at once, when they all go out, they're all out. That's sort of what I see. I see it as like, if you were maybe to do things a little bit slower, you could enjoy them and then really go through it, and it's like a process, but you're trying to do everything at once, and so then it's all gonna burn out at once, and then that's sort of the imagery that I'm getting with this Eight of Wands. Like, things are just moving fast, and your pest in this situation is the Four of Cups. So once again, as your pest in the situation, this to me is again coming or acting out of a place of insecurity and instability and of lack, because you're not really moving forward focused on, the positives that you have to offer, really stepping into that power and that energy. No, you're more so you're trying to move forward, but you're focused on what is plaguing you, or you're focused on what is holding you back. You're focused on what has got you in this feeling of insecurity, on what has got you in this feeling of lack. You're more so moving forward to try and spite this energy, but it's not, but it's a pest in this situation, because then you're not actually focused on the goal. You're moving towards a goal, not focused on it. How can you get there? How can you land in that properly and safely if you're not even focused on what you need to be focused on? So what's calling the situation to the surface is strength. This is tenacity right here. This is your ability to move forward. This is your ability to nurture the parts of you that feels insecure, that feels unstable. But right now, I sort of see strength as you wearing a false mask, or you not necessarily wearing a false mask, because let's not say that it's false. Let's say it's more so that right now you're trying to embody a mask that sort of overshadows a fear, a deep-seated fear that you may have. And this may be something that you do just on the regular, Virgo. This is your way of handling things. When you feel like you're scared, or when you feel like you don't know what to do, you just act like you do, or you just act like you're not afraid, and you just move in spite of the energy that tries to weigh you down. And so your harvest in this situation is the Empress. So You have the Empress here, and I see that it's this energy of nurturing yourself, that you are going to sort of have to come into this state where you nurture yourself. I almost see this as a sort of, I almost see this as a sort of subtle warning from the cards, where it's like, if you put a mask, on in front of yourself to tell yourself that what you're actually experiencing isn't there, or if you try to cover up or try to change the way that you behave to sort of diminish what you may think is detracting from you, then all you're going to do is now you're going to present or create the situation where now you're going to have to sort of come to your own rescue. Because you are not necessarily really addressing what is important as much as you are, like, you're not really addressing what is important. And so then you're going to have to, like, eventually you're going to have to, when you put yourself in this situation where you sort of subdue the part of you that makes you scared, then you'll have to nurture the part of you that makes you scared. I mean, of course, this could also just be you stepping into this place of strength, having strength in the face of fear and nurturing yourself. But I don't know. Something about the way the strength card looks right now just is not sitting right with me. Like, I get this feeling that you're sort of trying to hide yourself. That you're so, it's interesting that they're both playing with their hair. It's interesting that they're both doing that, and I just wonder, like, I feel like your self-image is just really on the purview right now. Like, how you see yourself is so important right now, Virgo. Like, what you think of yourself and how you handle what happens to you. Do you choose to cover it up and act like nothing's happening and sort of have a prideful way of moving forward, or do you nurture yourself and sort of allow the waves and energies to wash over you? I don't know. What you need to cut in this situation, though, is the world in reverse. So it's this ungrounded energy that sort of keeps you stagnant. You know, it's like your fulfillment is right there, but you aren't but at the very last second, you get sort of tripped up. You get sort of ousted. It's like being so close, but not quite there. That's that energy that I feel. And this could be you sort of, this could be a feeling about yourself, feeling that you aren't enough. Yeah. Feeling like you aren't enough, feeling like you don't have enough, feeling like you are once again coming from this place of lack and focusing on this energy of lack where you just feel like there's something missing within you, or you feel like you don't have something, or like because of something that's happened to you, or like because of the lack that has been presented to you, you just feel like that's how it all is, or you feel like that's how it's just destined to be. I don't know, but your outcome in this situation, wow, just like Aries, same card, same position, Two of Swords. How can you move forward when once you're presented with an idea and a thought, you also simultaneously create another idea or thought to actively counter that, to actively obfuscate your path. Your path is being obfuscated not by something real or tangible, but by your own lack of belief in yourself. It presents a whole new sort of element that takes you astray, that starts to lead you into a whole array of new possibilities, of new things, that, and it's all about how you feel about yourself. It's about yourself and your self-image. It's about yes, but with sacred and invigorating and resourceful, and with resourcefulness, it's like what is around you that you're thinking about. It's like these feelings, these deep-seated feelings about yourself are coming into the forefront. And it's because of your environment that's really pushing this forward. You're looking at what you have and what you don't have. And I think that you're also sort of taking in what other people have and don't have as relevant factors too. And you shouldn't necessarily be doing that. Because once again, all it does is lead you to a path ahead that becomes obfuscated, that becomes unclear. And it doesn't have to be that way if you just, you know, really truly just believed in yourself a bit more and weren't so susceptible to seeing yourself as a reflection of others and more so just as a reflection of yourself. But that's the message that I have for you today, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope that it resonated for you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.